Can't get too close to him here. Guess I dealt the merging here. That was a nice delta merge. Oh, into the kill. What a beautiful kill. All right, everybody, welcome back to another class. Today we're talking about something relatively dry, so nothing too crazy. We're not breaking down any fights. But it's a question I consistently get in the stream, and so I wanted to make a video specifically detailing the way the ESP mechanic works, at least how I understand how it works, and how this can help relate to your combat, and how to best utilize all the features. So let's just jump right into it. So I know there's been a lot of opinions out there on how ESP works, and I don't have the exact numbers in front of me to really say like, this is what's going to affect your pitch in this degree specifically. I don't think anybody really does know. But what I kind of want to flesh out is how the mechanic functions so that you can best understand it. So if you were to imagine a radius that emanates from where the pip is located, okay? So in this picture, we're using a lead pip system on an enemy arrow, and the ESP is calculated off of the lead pip itself, which is the direction and shot solution that the computer targeting system is giving you. Okay, so the zone indicates how large that area will be. So if I had a 5-degree cone, then perhaps only the first circle would be when the ESP starts to function. But I prefer to have it on a larger, because that way it allows me to have a much smoother translation from when the ESP grabs and when you actually start to have a dampening effect. And being dampening as in, I'll talk about in a second here, how much the magnetic effect and spotlight effect works, right? So now that we have our ESP attached to our lead pip, okay, we'll know that our current position right now, so the arrow that we are flying, you'll notice that the arrow's nose is facing directly towards or directly on the enemy arrow. So if we wanted to move ourselves into a position to actually shoot on him, we'd have to move to the right. So this is where it might get a little confusing, but I'll help explain it. So because our nose is right now sitting directly on the enemy arrow, the perfect solution to get a shot against him, we need to yaw to the right about, I don't know, let's say 10 degrees, okay? Now, obviously, in a perfect world, we're going to want to roll 90 degrees to the right and then pitch our nose up so that we get our firing solution based on our pitch and not our yaw. But in this situation, we'll leave our mechanics out the window for a second when it comes to like roll aiming, and we'll just look at how ESP is functioning. So if we move to the right, the ESP is not going to dampen that input. It's going to say, you've made the right choice. You've chosen the shortest path possible to the firing solution that the computer has decided is the optimal shot. Now, if you decide to move against that optimal shot, the dampening effect starts to kick in. Now, depending on the percentage of dampening that you have applied, and this is an ESP settings thing that you can adjust, depends on how much the computer is going to punish, I guess you could say, wrong movements, right? So whether you debate it's a right or wrong movement is up to you. However, the computer is always wanting you to move your nose into a position where you've got the shot. However, if you move against that, whether you're doing a pre-nose, whether you want to move out of position for whatever reason, it will dampen that input, right? This is to help oversteering or understeering, right? So it's going to promote good input. It's going to say, oh, you've made the right choice here. Your ship is starting to move towards the firing solution. So I'm going to reward you by not dampening that input. But if I go against it, it's going to say, no. I know you want to go to the left, but we're only going to give you half of what you're asking for, because maybe you're going to figure out in the next half a second, oh shit, I've got to go to the right. And then you're going to go to the right, and it's going to be a lot faster for you to get back on target, right? There is a slight magnetic effect, I guess you could say, right? Where sometimes ESP will behave in strange ways. I've felt it. Everyone's felt it. I don't know what it is. You feel it really strongly on the glaive. You feel this usually when someone's coming from really far away and they're flying really close to you. I'm not sure if that's an intentional effect. I don't know. But the point I'm trying to get across here is, if you understand ESP as a radius that emanates from the shot solution itself, and the wider your degree cone, the more, like, the sooner the ESP starts to function, and the smaller your dampening curve, the less the ESP will try to punish you for incorrect movements. Now, I prefer a 20-degree cone and a 1% damp, because 20 degrees means that it's the largest cone possible, so the ESP hits me sooner. And 1% dampening means that if I decide to make a wrong input, or I decide to oversteer, or I decide to, it gives me the smoothest translation from the outside to the inside shot, right? So from the outside of this, yellow circle to the center where the actual shot solution is, it's the smoothest translation. So it's a linear curve in the sense that I feel the dampening when I start coming into the cone, and I slowly, very slowly start to feel the dampening slightly increase as I get closer, right? So this, for me as a pilot, allows me to make smoother, more translatable shots, and I think that's really what, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why I feel like my accuracy is quite good, okay? But there's one thing you got to understand too about distance. The longer the distance, the less dampening effect the ESP is going to have, right? So the closer you are, the more dampening effect, the wider that cone becomes, the stronger the punishment, I guess you could say, for wrong movements starts to come into play. This here is one of the reasons why I talk about the wiggling problem, where people make very quick, small movements in such a fast succession that it actually tricks the targeting computer into thinking the solutions are in other places than what they actually currently are. And that if you were to just turn off your computer and shoot straight for the guy, there's a likely chance you would have hit him. But unfortunately, with fixed assists being in the game, it's going to always nudge your shot off into the correct solution, right? So as you get closer, the dampening gets more intense. And so it is harder to kind of maintain a target on someone who's doing that kind of behavior, right? Something that CIG is, I'm sure, working on, but just understand that it is an exploit that people need to be aware of, right? So if you catch someone doing that really close range to you, just know that, well, it's definitely something funny that's in the game right now, but I'm sure it's not going to be around forever. So now that we kind of understand ESP a little bit better here, we kind of understand what the nature, what it's trying to do, how far the cones are, what you can adjust as the pilot. What I want people to understand is the ESP is going to reward you for rolling, and I'll say this again, for rolling into your shot solution and pitching up. Okay? Now, let's use a real life example here, and we'll kind of maybe break it down. Okay, so if we take a look at this dogfight here, I want you to watch this initial pass. So as we're moving in here, we notice that he's moving on our screen from top left. Now he's moving on our screen to the bottom left. So we roll into our shot. The ESP is going to help us guide onto it. And now we start to see, like, watch carefully with the ESP, right? Look at the direction of his travel, okay? And it's going to punish me if I decide to roll off those shots. So right now I'm orientating my belly, so I'm pitching up onto my target always, right? I am adding a little bit of S-turns in here to kind of help shake off some damage. But in general, you'll notice that I'm always rolling into my shot here. Now, the ESP is going to want me to perform like this. It's going to want to funnel me into making these shots here. You can see the ESP kind of helping assist onto target here. But if I were to say start pushing down into the left, it's not going to reward that action. It's only going to reward me for like, again, right here, this is a good example. So let's back that up. So watch carefully here. I'm pitching my nose down, but I still see that he's starting to kind of keep moving that direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll. Now I'm a bit of a yaw here, roll a bit some more, and it's always going to reward me for rolling into those shot positions to pull my nose up onto target. That is what ESP is trying to do. I made a video a while back too called Pitch Fighting. And again, the whole combat system is based around kind of giving you this feeling of being in a space fighter. And the way to do that is to kind of make it feel kind of like you're flying in a plane in space, right? That's why our thrusters on the bottom are very strong to simulate kind of a pseudo lift kind of function as if you were flying through atmosphere. So remember, when it comes to ESP, guys, it's based off the targeting solution, not the current target position, right? So if you look at my pip, the ESP, if you were to draw like an imaginary circle around the little box, then that's how ESP is kind of helping me guide onto target here, right? And I'm always kind of working my way into the position. It's always going to reward me for pitching my nose up onto the target, and it's going to punish me if I kind of go away from that, quasi perfect solution, right? So just a little thing to consider, guys, a little thing to understand when it comes to ESP in general, right? So by the way, this was Magic's Avenger Squadron test, which he passed with flying colors. Brother, you've been a massive addition to the team. I'm so proud of you, buddy. I have such a blast flying with you, and I'm really excited to see what happens with the team as we go forward. Okay, guys, we're 10 minutes in. I know this video was a bit dry, but it's super, super important. It's one of your core skills to really understand the enhanced stick precision mechanic, to understand what adjustments you're making, to understand how it functions, and how to best use that to your ability, right? So thank you guys for sticking around to the video. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you were educated. And I hope, guys, you'll pass this on and share the love and get out there and have some fun and start learning how to play the game. There is a beautiful game here. I know it's a mess sometimes, and I know we talk a lot of trash about it, myself included, but I truly, truly love this game, and I really do want to see it be successful, and I can't do that alone. I need all of your folks' help, right? So enjoy the game, dip in when you want to, play it, but please understand the game as best you can, because education leads to informed decisions. Informed decisions lead to change. Okay, guys, take a look at Predator mounts if you're interested in getting a mounting system for your joysticks. They're the ones I use. I find them to be absolutely fantastic. Use the code Avenger1 if you want to get 5% off. And hopefully I'll see all you smiling folks out for the next video and also the next stream. Guys, I have a blast making this. I'm going to be doing this the rest of my life. So jump on, have some fun. Who knows where we'll be. I was Avenger1, and I'll see you next time.